There are two coalitions in Parliament. At the National Assembly, you have 179 members of Parliament allied to the Kenya Kwanza side, and there are 157, I believe, on the Azimio La Umoja side. Of course, different parties expressing different opinions within Azimio La Umoja. We've seen some bit of altercation, especially on social media. Let's listen first to what Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President, spoke about while he was in Mount Kenya over the weekend. Watch.
Hapa kwetu Mlima Kenya kulikuwa na 13%, walikuwa wamepotea njia, wamenitafuta, wafanyabiashara, professionals, wanasiasa wameniambia they had been intimidated and coerced. Roho yao haikuwa huko, na nimewaambia mimi na William Ruto tunasema karibu nyumbani, tufanye kazi pamoja.
Kama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza tuko pamoja na tuko chini ya uongozi wa Rais William Ruto na naibu wake Rigathi Gachagua, na serikali yetu iko imara.
Nataka kuambia na kuhakikishia kule bunge tuko pamoja, na sisi tuko nyuma ya William Samoei Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua, na hatutaki siasa.
And I want to assure you that those who still believe there is disunity in this government, they will be shocked and they will realize that this country shall move together. Wanafikiria sijui kuna shida, watangoja na watafanya nini? Watachoka.
Okay, all right. So there's basically talking about the unity of that region, and we also saw the Deputy President earlier on. He had spoken about the region and Kenya Kwanza supporting the election of Kanini Kega to the East African Legislative Assembly. Honorable Kagusha, what is the feel on the ground? What is the region saying now?
Our region must be in government fully. And I know we have, as the Deputy President has rightly put it, we have 13% that never voted for Kenya Kwanza. They voted for Azimio. They were vicious, they were decided, and they were extremely committed and passionate to that cause of Azimio. At some point, you'd even think they are going to get more than 13%. But the truth of the matter is, the Mount Kenya region voted almost in one voice towards the Kenya Kwanza government, which is led by William Samoei Ruto. Now, here the thinking is that let us have this 13% that voted the other way and that was out of government, being given an opportunity to also come and work with William Samoei Ruto, so that in 2027, and so that also in this government that goes on, it has the support of all the Mount Kenya people, because the Mount Kenya people feel that this is their government. In fact, for the longest time, we have never felt part of a government like we are feeling now. This is a time we really feel we own this government. This is a time we feel that together with other Kenyans, we have a government that is not... Pardon?
How does it feel in being in government?
Very nice. Very good.
No. I mean, you said that you've never felt in government this much.
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah.
How so?
I don't know how you want me to explain, because I've just said we have never felt in government like we are feeling now. Why? Because we have a president who seems to be respecting us. We have a president who seems to be consulting with us. We have a president who seems to have our ear. We have a president who seems to work closely with us as a region. And when I talk of the region, I want you to look at it more.
Who is we? The leaders or?
The region. The region,
the political elite.
Let me tell you this. People elect their representatives. When I am here, I'm not here as Kagusha.
It's a question I'm asking you, Kagusha, really.
And I'm answering the question.
Yeah.
When I'm here, I am here because I'm representing the people of Mukurweini. Yeah. When I spent the whole day yesterday pushing for the coffee reforms, I am not doing it as Kagusha, I'm doing it as the people representative. The Constitution, if you look at it in Article 1, talks about the sovereignty of the people. And this sovereignty in Article 2 will be exercised on behalf of the people by either directly, they will exercise it directly, or through their democratically elected leaders. So when William Samoei Ruto consults with the democratically elected leaders from from a certain region, it is a consultation with and on behalf of the people of the regions. Because William Samoei Ruto may not be able to call all the people of Mukurweini to State House to consult on an issue. But when you want to consult on an issue that has to do with Mukurweini, he calls Gachagua to go and, on behalf of the people of Mukurweini, I give the views. It is up to me now to be with the people in Mukurweini and get to know what they want. So that when I go to State House, then I'm able to give a proper representation of our people. So what I'm basically saying is that we have a government where we are constantly consulted. We have a government where we are constantly in touch with His Excellency the President. He gives us respect, he listens to us, and the issues we are raising from the region are well taken, with respect and with concern, and you can clearly see someone who is honestly...
How then do you demarcate your role as a parliamentarian versus supporting your president? Where do you draw the line?
Well, when I'm doing representation of my people and I'm with the president and he's listening to me, I'm happy about it. Now, when I go to parliament, and I am now oversighting his cabinet, it's a different ball game altogether. As you have said here, there's issue of, for example, the issue of importation of maize. It's something we as parliamentarians are going to look at in a very serious way. For example, we are not going to be allowing, as the people from the North Rift are saying, if they do have sufficient maize, let us do an assessment and find that we have proper and sufficient maize reserves in the country, and then have it distributed efficiently to the people who are hungry in the country. So we as parliamentarians are then not going to allow that kind of importation. So we get to check on that. Now, that is my work now as an oversight person in parliament. But now when I am going to represent the people of Mukurweini, where their matters are being discussed and where their issues are being put on the table, then at that point in time, we have a proper consultation with the president. So what when you say we have the deputy president saying there...
No, just hold on. When you say that come 2027, what did you mean?
I mean, the next general election is going to be in 2027. And you see, what is going to happen is that the people... and now, let me talk about, when you hear me talk about the Mount Kenya region, or when you hear me talk about the region, I'm generally talking about the issues of interests. Are you getting? Because there are certain interests that are so peculiar to that region. And what we would wish and we would want is that those interests from that region, just like the other regions, are taken care of. Are you getting?
So come 2027, I'm trying to understand that.
So long as we, as the people from the mountain, feel that our interests in the mountain have been taken care of. And what are
Honorable Gachagua, when was the last election?
You know, let me say this. Let me say this, because it's important I take you to 2027. The issue is, so long as our issues are being taken care of as people from the mountain, for example, the issue of coffee. We want coffee, the guaranteed minimum returns, and we want farmers to get a good return from their coffee. Now, we want to bring all the other leaders from the Mount Kenya region. We round up together. We sit together and talk as one voice behind William Samoei Ruto. And then he allows the market to operate without putting any personal interest, like we have seen before. And then our farmers get good prices for their coffee. Now, if that is done, and it will be done, and we are sure it is going to be done, then we will have all the people from Mount Kenya region speak with one voice behind William Samoei Ruto and ensure that we continue to implement those economic policies for 10 years. So we will start from 2022 on this implementation. We will go all the way to 2032 with that implementation. And that's why we are looking at having Mheshimiwa Yusuf here joining us. And by the way, most of the Jubilee MPs are already working with us. Very few of them are not working with us. Most of them have already brought themselves to the fold. So we are looking at a situation where, especially those who come from Mount Kenya region and they have not been voting with the Kenya Kwanza, we are looking at a situation where they are going to join the floor, cross the floor, come to our side. In terms of ideology, we work together. And then when it comes to 2027, because every other politician is always looking at the next election, that's why we are working very hard to deliver for the people that have elected us, so that when it comes to the next season, then we are re-elected. Are you getting? And that is why the issue of representing people is important.
Just hold on. The last election was just over 3 months ago.
Yes.
The next election is way over 4 years to come. But anyway, I hear you. Honorable Lenguruis,
Yes.
what do you make of these conversations? Because, yes, we had the Deputy President saying that the President has gone to Kilifi and is embracing the Governor of Kilifi and the leaders from the coast, sort of appealing to people that didn't specifically vote with them or support Kenya Kwanza to come on board. And this is coming at a time that we just heard from the President just before he was sworn in, that he was going to entertain everyone to play their role, the opposition to play their role, the government to play their role. What is this then?
Yeah, I think we have just come from a very competitive election, and the Kenya Kwanza has won the election. I think once you win the election, you become a leader of all those who have elected you and those who have not even supported you. So I think the route that the President is taking currently is trying to bring everyone on board, because he is elected by the people of Kenya. And he's the president of all the people of Kenya until otherwise. And as members of parliament, what I've seen for the last 3 months, we know that we have 3 roles in parliament: legislation, representation, and oversight. And it's the parliament that helps the president and the cabinet to deliver the services. So the kind of synergy that I have seen, people working together from different political divide, because now we represent the people, and if we put our efforts together, if we put our ideas together, if we put our energies together, I think we will help the president.
What is putting hands, ideas together for you?
For me...
In a multi-party democracy?
Yeah, you know, we are representing people. If I sit in the government and I don't see service delivery to the people of Samburu, then I will be doing nothing in that government. But so long as my people are getting services, it doesn't matter the kind of political party that has brought me to the parliament. But what is important is delivery of service to the people. But if you look at my brothers from the Azimio side, most of them are coming to join us because I think they have seen us bringing them on board, because they want to see their people being served. They want to see their region being considered like other regions. So I think that is important for the members of parliament.
What would they suffer if they don't join hands?
If they don't join hands, they will be outside and they will not be able to deliver what they would have delivered if they were in government.
Why? So, I mean, what do you mean in government? You're already an elected MP.
Yes.
What more do you need?
Sam, I think you are not a politician.
Yes, I am not.
Yeah, you are not a politician. And if you want to serve your people well, you must work with the government. If you become in loggerheads with the government, then your people will be disadvantaged.
I mean, being elected on a different party from the president is being at loggerheads with the government?
Sometimes, like what we are seeing now. For some of us, the introduction of GMOs is not a big deal, because this product has been scientifically proved that there is no effect. Mm-hmm. But if you look at our brothers trying to oppose it, just because they come from the other political side, that is what I'm talking about.
How do you know that you're not supporting it because you're in government, quote unquote?
No. The most important thing for us is to serve the people of Kenya.
Okay.
And that is what the president is doing, and the Kenya Kwanza government. That's why we are embracing our brothers from the other side, because we want to work well with the people of Kenya.
Okay.
And we want to deliver services. That's why we are here.
Honorable Hassan, when are you being embraced by Kenya Kwanza?
Sam, first of all, let me say that we are a constitutional democracy. We are a multi-party democracy. We have the separation of powers, and Parliament is one of the check and balances in our democratic system. So I must say that what I'm hearing now is really disturbing. It is an affront to our democracy and to our freedom, that a president who has been sworn to promote, to defend, to respect and uphold our constitution, is working to actually undermine Parliament's prerogative and powers. And I think this is really a very dangerous thing that we must fight against, because it is about our democracy. It is not about Kenya Kwanza and about Azimio. I think we constantly seem to forget that we might be members of these political formations, but after all, we are Kenyans. And Kenya is our country, and we have a constitution to protect. So instead of the the president and his party plotting to undermine the opposition. He should be selling superior ideas, policies and programs. He should bring just and equitable bills and legislations to Parliament so that he can get the support of other parliamentarians. But this idea of trying to crush and take control of Parliament is dangerous for our democracy and should never be accepted. And we must always preserve and protect and fight for our democracy. On the issue of Mount Kenya, I can see very clearly that the cracks are already appearing. In the recent East African Legislative Assembly elections, the Mount Kenya parliamentarians rebelled against the decision of Kenya Kwanza and their president. They voted differently. And it is very clear how fragile the UDA alliance is already. Because the interests of this, of UDA and the people of Mount Kenya are very different. The Mount Kenya people have been used to being in government, to be major players in the political decision making, and they're not likely to stay too long in that space of being a minority group dominated by another.
Government.
They would go a different route in 2027, and I can hear the signs from my brother. And already the president is expanding his alliance beyond Mount Kenya. He is warming up to the coastal regions. He's warming out to the western regions. And I can tell you for sure that this alliance already 3 months looks very, very fragile than you would have expected.
No.
And we are going to see more. Give me you have said what you wanted to say. I'm alone. You are two of you. Is that the people of Mount Kenya voted in a rebellious manner. They were angry. They were frustrated. If they don't get what they need to get from this particular government, it's not going to be a permanent marriage. It's a marriage of convenience. And I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if they make decisions in their own interest and move to the other direction. It is completely acceptable in politics that people move around. But I think this attempt to swallow up the opposition.
Have you been approached?
No, I have not been approached because I'm not.
He has approached them.
I'm not an approachable. I respect.
What do you mean? You're not approachable.
I respect the wishes of the people of Kamukunji, who, in their own wisdom, elected me as a member of Jubilee.
Right.
And there's absolutely no possibility that I would be betraying that particular trust that.
But let me ask you this, because
placed in me.
Just hold on, because you're here, and I had your deputy minority whip Sabina Chege speak on the floor of the House, saying that Jubilee was speaking in different voices at different times. What is the state of Jubilee Party at the moment? How are you making decisions as a party? Well,
Jubilee is a part of the Azimio alliance, but I think. We follow the direction of our leadership in the Azimio Alliance coalition. But in any coalition, there are teething problems. There are differences. Don't forget the fact that, in fact, Jubilee is a party that has gone through a very drastic change from a major political party, the ruling party, 3 months ago. And now we're a small party in an alliance. And so there's a lot of problems in terms of finding out how we fit into the current dispensation, how, as an opposition group, what is our role, what should we be doing, what issues and what is the relevance of Jubilee in this new arrangement. So these questions are going around. And a lot of the Jubilee, key members of the Jubilee were defeated in the last election, the outside parliament. So we have two wings. We have a group outside, and we have a group inside Parliament. And of course, we need to come together to discuss our future and what role we should be playing in Azimio.
Who's offering leadership at the moment within the party?
Well, that is the big problem, because our chairman is busy on major national issues, international issues. And he has brought 2 big victories for Kenya He has played a role in bringing the Ethiopian people to the negotiating table. And now he's working very hard and very successfully in bringing about another positive political development in the DRC crisis. So I understand that he's very busy with issues of importance to us as a country and as a region. And I think Jubilee should look, the Jubilee Parliamentary Group should look inwardly to see how they can overcome this problem of
I'm asking that because, you know, the law does not allow the former president to be an official of a political party 6 months after retirement.
Well, but we have not reached 6 months.
Yes, but you will soon.
Well, I think that is a decision that he would make for himself and according to the rules of our country. But in any case, in Jubilee in Parliament needs to put its act together to work out a good working relationship with Azimio. We are in Azimio, and we support the Azimio alliance.
What if you lose some of your members?
Let me just put it this, Sam. Let me help Mheshimiwa here, because what I think is that Mheshimiwa Yusuf should also be bracing himself. And actually, the question, Mheshimiwa, you should be asking yourself: what will you do in the coming number of days when Jubilee is going to sign up to work with the Kenya Kwanza government? Because sooner than later, two things will happen. Number one, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta is going to quit the position of the chair of Azimio, and he will be off completely. And you know already he has been given a role as an envoy by William Samoei Ruto. Number two, Jubilee is likely to sign up an arrangement, a working arrangement with the Kenya Kwanza after 6 months have lapsed after the election. And they are likely to quit the Azimio arrangement altogether. And basically what that will do is that it is going to consolidate the Kenya Kwanza government even more. And then you will not have to have a challenge of associating yourself with government and voting for government legislation. Now, that, and why I am saying this, and some, you know, for the 7-8 years I have been here with you, and we have done predictions, political predictions. I have told you many times that you need to replay most of the political predictions I have done. And maybe that's why you have retained me on this show for over 7 years.
Really?
Because my predictions have more than often come true.
He is claiming to be a prophet.
And I do that. And where I would,
he's claiming to be a prophet.
Where I would claim that position of a political prophet.
Disagree with him.
Where I would claim that position.
Why
I would claim that political prophecy.
I was in
kind
the middle
of an arrangement.
To
I'll give an opportunity.
No, you know, Yusuf, why I would claim that position is because virtually every other political prediction that we have done on this show have come to pass. And so it would only be good for you to listen to me so that you start psychologically preparing yourself on how you're going to behave and work as an MP who is supporting government.
Yes. How come you know so much about the Jubilee Party more than the member of Jubilee Party?
Because I'm a political analyst, Sam, and I tell you that many times. I look at political situations, I analyze them, I predict 2-3 years ahead. Are
you confirming there has been conversations between...
It doesn't even have to be there in the first place. In fact, there has not been any. But I am also telling you, as we move forward, there will be. And in fact, Jubilee Party will sooner than later join Kenya Kwanza coalition, and they will ditch Azimio. And I say that authoritatively as a political analyst, not because I know anything, not even because there has been anything. Now, having said that...
What role will President Kenyatta play in that decision?
No, but President Kenyatta is going to leave politics altogether. He's not going to remain active on chairmanship of Azimio or whatever. He would have remained active should the Azimio side have won. But now because they lost, Uhuru Kenyatta will not find it necessary anymore. I mean, just imagine President Kenyatta is coming to chair an Azimio arrangement here when he is actually an envoy of William Samoei Ruto on regional matters. Are you getting? And of course, I would also say when President Uhuru Kenyatta, and I would say this, when he is also put there as an envoy, a peace envoy, don't think that what Uhuru Kenyatta does around the continent is only peace. the gentleman is also interested on other things other than just peace.
Like what?
So, of course, business and other things. So there's no way the president will leave that, the former president will leave that position of an envoy to come and get trouble here with the GMO issues. You get it? So the president is going to be busy doing that, and he's going to be more interested in what is happening in DRC Congo. He's going to be interested much more in what is happening in Ethiopia and other countries. And so long as he's the envoy of William Samoei Ruto, he's not going to be interested in that arrangement altogether. And then also what you're going to see sooner than later, because Raila Odinga wants to retain his influence in the Azimio side, and he wants to be a contender again in 2027, that again is going to split the Azimio side further, because Kalonzo Musyoka, Kalonzo Musyoka will not allow Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will not allow that kind of an arrangement come 2027, because he cannot continue shelving his ambition and his political dream for Raila Odinga. But I mean, having said that, Sam, be very sincere,
I hear you.
Having said that, my just last point is that William Samoei Ruto will be able to consolidate this country. And when he said that he's going to do away with the tribal barriers, he's going to do that, and he's going to lead this country into an economic prosperity that has never been heard, seen, or even imagined before in this country.
So that's also a product of analysis.
Of course.
Okay, I owe you half a minute, and as well as Lenguris, but let me first take a look at the feedback that we've been receiving on the two topics we've discussed this morning via Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya, at Sam Gituku. The hashtag to use is Daybreak. Let's take a look at that. The first one here. This is who? This is Babu Michael. On GMO, it will bring more harm than good, mostly to our health, due to scientific research and also to the local food producers, since most of the GMOs will be imported, and those to benefit more will be the importers. CS Korea must apologize. Reverend Harrison, KAG, you're saying, to me, the Ministries of Agriculture and Trade should and must speak in one voice as soon as possible, and thus buy maize from farmers first. Then if not enough, then you can import farmers first. God bless. Remy Butia, just remind Honorable Hassan that GM maize testing in Kenya started in 2010, and approval for the environmental release was granted by the National Biosafety Authority in 2016, and Cabinet in 2019 approved the commercialization of GM cotton, BT cotton. Okero Mwalimu, before we turn to the west to solve food shortage, let's look for ways of supplying surplus food around Mau, supporting farmers in Rift Valley, Central and other parts of the country. If we won't be able to consume the same GMO foods as Westerners, let's forego them. Godi Baraza, we should depoliticize the discussion around GMO if indeed we want to have a clear and conclusive way forward regarding this issue. The more the debate takes a political turn, the more complex it becomes. And those are the views about matters GMO. Africa should jealously defend their cultural diversity and their fresh agricultural products from Western adulteration. Our strong immune system depends largely on what we eat. GMO introduction will adulterate our natural fresh farm produce. Do you have a strong immune system? Mount Kenya region has started campaigning for 2032 because in 2027 they want to support President Ruto for his smooth sailing of his second term. That's Bob Otieno. Who else? Sawe, you're saying Kenya Kwanza government started 27 campaigns immediately after swearing in, moving the port to Mombasa to capture coast. Just an example. Ruto, just like Moi, is going for an opposed to the presidency. Unfortunate. This is Kenya. Okay. That is.
Why is it unfortunate?
It's Sawe's views. He's not here to answer, but I'm sure he's listening and will be in a position to tweet us the response. So, Yusuf Hassan, 30 seconds as you wind up, and especially on that matter affecting your party and coalition.
If wishes were horses, even beggars could ride. And my brother, the MP for Mukurweni, is a political novice. I have been in parliament longer than him. I have been in the politics of the country much longer than him. And I have been an international and national and continental analyst much longer than him. So I believe that this is just his illusion that one day Jubilee would be able to join the ruling party. But what I'm asking here, and is important, is the president has consistently said he would defend the constitution, and he wants the opposition to be an active opposition. Even the deputy president has said that. So what is this crazy push to want every political party and every opposition to come into government? Why do they want that? Why don't they manage with the majority that they have? So obviously there is something that we're not seeing. There's some crisis that is brewing within the ruling alliance that is pushing them to want even members of the opposition to come on board. Because we're a democracy. But the
members of the opposition must want to remain in the opposition.
Yes, exactly. That's where we would remain. That is our mandate. We were elected by our constituencies knowing that we would be in that particular political party. And any MP who crosses over is doing that for their own self-interest. Okay. Because my sister and my brother get exactly the same salary, although she gets a little bit more because of the mileage. We get the same pecs, the same privileges, we have the same platform. The idea that because they're in Kenya Kwanza, that they're going to get more than what I would get for my constituency is completely misplaced, because I don't think that is the case. I have been in the ruling alliances in the last 3 parliaments that I've been elected. And I have seen members of the opposition getting more in terms of development resources because of the needs of their particular areas. So being in Kenya Kwanza doesn't really give you any privilege as far as a member of parliament is concerned, other than giving their independence as parliamentarians. They are going to be voting machines. They would not have their own independent mind. They would be told from State House, vote this way, vote that way. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
I thought you said we did not vote the way you are.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what he's. That's what you're calling.
Let's end it.
That's what you want to do.
But out of curiosity, is that the same thing you did while you were in Jubilee Party?
Yes.
For 3 terms.
You were getting instructions from State House?
No, no, I've always been an independent-minded member of parliament.
You're contradictory.
Okay.
No, I know, but the way you have been pressurized is that you would want to work.
We have just voted.
Differently.
Honorable Lenguris,
You
your
rebelled
final
against the
30 seconds. Honorable
So
Hassan
we are not voting machines.
Okay.
You agree?
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to disagree with my brother here that the President William Ruto is such a president who gives us space as members of parliament to discuss and agree on issues. He never forces anything on us. So the voting machine you are talking about is a non-issue to us as members of parliament. What we have as a coalition is that we will help the president. We will do the legislation together with our brothers. The legislations that will help him deliver the promises that he has made to the people of Kenya. Number 2, I'll also encourage the members of opposition, the Azimio team, to do the oversight. I think there was no time that President Ruto told them to stop doing the oversight. You have a role, and you should also play your role as expected.
But this
we are not forcing anyone. I think no one has been coerced.
This is the road to dictatorship.
I think no one has been coerced, and no one has been forced from the Azimio side to join the government side. Okay. But they have seen an important role of joining us. So if they come, if they come voluntarily,
you can't do that because
if they come voluntarily, I think we are embracing them and we are welcoming them to come and join us. But no one has.
So you want to kill our democracy.
No one has been forced. You are killing yourselves.
All right,
you guys are killing yourselves.
Sam, sorry, just the right of reply.
Yes.
Honorable
20 seconds.
Honorable Yusufi, of course, doesn't have any right to call me a political novice just because he has been elected 3 times.
Yeah.
I have 4 times.
Yeah, but I'm your senior.
No, definitely you are my senior.
Yeah,
definitely you are my senior. Definitely you are my senior.
Yes.
Sam, I respect him as my senior, and indeed he's my senior in all ways. But I'm not also a political novice. He also need to be told. I have been the Speaker of Nyeri County for 5 years. I've also been the President of the students of Kenyatta University.
But you can agree that you're younger than him. So
but that doesn't mean that I'm a political novice. And also, Sam, you also need to tell him that I have a proven track record in politics, in leadership, and also in political analysis for 7 years on this platform.
I'm sure he has heard you. The Presidential Retirement Benefits Act, Section 6, talks about the role of a retired president. A retired president shall not hold office in any political party for more than 6 months after ceasing to hold office as president. He left office on the 13th of September. The last time she should hold political party office is 6 months from that time. You can do the calculation. Bye for now. Up next is Matters Social with Willis Roburu. My name is...